A warning before anything starts. I'm pretty young, so don't expect this hybrid to be the greatest or really good. And this hybrid took like half a year to make, which is far, far too much. And in this video, I will explain the genome, capabilities, and maybe even some lore. Now let's head on into our first section. For our first animal and our base genome, I decided to pick the Tyrannosaurus rex due to its agility, eyesight, smelling, and bite force, along with its great robustness. And of course, it can't suffice alone. It must be improved upon with the addition of multiple other contributors. Considering that the T-Rex is pretty much used in like a lot of hybrids, it's kind of a boring pick, but I really try to like replace it, but I just can't. Not to mention, it has great stamina, as well as it acts kind of like a blank canvas to add on upon, which makes it very easy to pick the other contributors based on the weaknesses of the T-Rex. Now, what are some of the problems with the T-Rex? Well, let's first get off of an easy one. Its arms are, lightly putting it, useless. And our next contributor will help nullify this weakness. For our second contributor and for our arms, we will be using the Chagma baboon. Now, why not any other primate who's stronger and smarter? Well, the Chagma baboon has giant canines which, if we use the T-Rex DNA to make those canines thicker and deeply rooted in the skull, it should make the canines much harder to break. The canines would be perfect for stabbing and gripping, which now means my hybrid can crush with the T-Rex teeth and stab/grip with the baboon teeth. Not to mention the fact that the baboon can pant, which will help with thermoregulation and stamina. We also can't forget about the arms. As Golgi Center said, primates' arms allow for high strength while maintaining high agility. So if we use those arms, we basically get the best of both worlds. And I also forgot to add the serrations of the T-Rex teeth to the baboon's canines for a better slicing aspect to the teeth. The baboon also adds high intelligence, which isn't as high as other primates like the chimpanzee or orangutan, but baboons are still capable of using tools, remember many things, problem solve, and form complex social groups. Something else that will be important is that the baboon also adds dietary changes and different dietary instincts, which will be explained later. For our third animal, it is the Mylodon. The Mylodon adds something very overpowered, which is stronger arms. Now, you must be thinking, but I thought you used the baboon for the arms. Well, yes, but Mylodon DNA helps increase the size, muscle mass, and bone mass of the arms. All to say, the arms of the baboon will be greatly improved in strength without losing much speed, as the fast twitch muscles from the baboon will be retained. Like the Lestodon in Hank 2.0's genome, Mylodon also has osteoderm under its skin, therefore increasing resistance from a wide range of attacks, like bites, slashes, quills, and stabs. But why Mylodon above anything else? The reason is, although Lestodon and Megatherium had stronger arms, Mylodon might have been a scavenger, thus improving congruity within the hybrid and its ecological role. It will be very nice to have, well, better everything now, isn't it? Say, it would be great for an animal that can improve many aspects of the hybrid without causing too much incongruity. Well, I think I got just the right animal for this job. Meet Proeutatus. Wait, you don't know what Proeutatus is? Well then, Proeutatus is a prehistoric armadillo, and trust me, I'm not adding it for what you think I'm going to add it for. Proeutatus gives the armor plates on every armadillo's head, which, if you think about it, is perfect for ramming. Though, sadly, Proeutatus does not have the instinct to use it as a ram. But, even if that's the case, remember, this hybrid is smart and capable of using it as a ram. You might also be asking yourself, out of every armadillo, why Proteutatus? For your information, viewer, Proteutatus has two traits that makes it good. One, it's an omnivore, which is good for the intended diet of the hybrid. Two, it doesn't eat insects like modern armadillos, and that's a big deal because armadillos are omnivorous. They have weak jaws due to them eating insects, which doesn't need strong jaws to eat. And factoring in the fact that a strong bite force is a core weapon of the hybrid. Also, remember what I said about the Proteutatus improving things? Well, you see, armadillos have a giant olecranon process which acts as a muscle attachment point in the arm. Basically, the arms of the baboon plus Megalodon are now even stronger. It is no surprise that venomous/poisonous hybrids are rather common. I mean, look at all the hybrids with northern short-tailed shooting. So, what I'm basically getting at is, some toxin resistance would be useful. Therefore, our fifth animal is the banded mongoose. The banded mongoose has a mutation to their acetylcholine receptors, which makes neurotoxins much less effective. More specifically, the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors. I'll also be adding the very quick reaction time of the mongoose, which is about 0.2 seconds or 0.03 seconds, if the hybrid anticipates the stimulus. To put that to perspective, that's fast enough to dodge a snake string easily. I'll also need to make sure the hybrid doesn't get bullied by larger hybrids. Therefore, the mongoose fearlessness will be added to ensure my hybrid doesn't get scared off easily. Oh, for some extra cool factor, I'll add the stripes of the banded mongoose too. Now, this wouldn't be a really effective stealth strategy, but it will make my hybrid look really rad. Now, with the toxin resistance and strong bite and arms, we should have some proper armor as well, which our next contributor covers up nicely. Our fifth contributor is the Cuvier's dwarf caiman. Now, this is a small but mighty caiman that offers a lot. One of the traits that it adds is armor, which unlike most crocodilians, has osteoderms on the ventral side or the bottom side in layman terms. It also adds the ability to slow down its metabolism and heart rate. But I'm not adding full torpor, as that would mean a long period of inactivity. Not to mention the fat store, which both of these traits would make the hybrid able to survive long periods without food. The web feet and hands and paddle-like tail with palatine prow to make sure the hybrid can swim even if the hybrid is terrestrial. Oh, and this swimming ability will be enhanced by the mammalian diving reflex brought by all the mammalian contributors. Caiman can also allow for the ability to increase blood flow to the skin to cool down, thus improving stamina once more. Along with those traits, crocodilians have a special valve system in their heart which cuts off oxygen to the lungs when diving to increase the time my hybrid can stay underwater. Caiman also comes with the abilities to constrict blood vessels to minimize blood loss and shunt blood. I also can't forget about the Cuvier's dwarf caiman's instinct to thrash its prey around its mouth, which is not equal to a death roll, as the Cuvier's dwarf caiman does not do a death roll. The caiman also helps by adding stronger disease and toxin resistance. The scales of the Cuvier's dwarf caiman will be enhanced by extra keratin due to the Proteutatus. The sixth contributor is none other than the Camarasaurus supremus. The first and most notable trait about Camarasaurus is that it has a giant thumb claw, which I'll be adding. Another important thing is that the air sacs, lungs, and heart, which would be making the heart lung of the T-Rex larger, and the air sacs more extensive, therefore granting a giant boost in endurance. The faster growth rate would make my hybrid spend less time on its weakened younger state. The tail of the T-Rex would be elongated to give the hybrid more range. Now, this is not a whip tail, but it is a platform that allows for lashing attacks against attackers from the rear. Now for our 8th contributor is the Vampire Bat. The common Vampire Bat is easily the MVP of my hybrid. The first thing it gives is dermal vision, like in some snakes. The Vampire Bat has the ability to spot prey with dermal signatures. This also allows the hybrid to spot blood vessels and the parts with the thinnest armor. I will also be adding echolocation as well, which will change the vocal cords to be able to make high-pitched sounds. The leaf-shaped nose will also be added to enhance the dermal vision and the echolocation. The ears too will be added. I can't forget about the incisors, which will be reinforced by T-Rex, like in the Chakma baboon. These incisors add a slicing damage which complements the baboon's canines and T-Rex teeth. To enhance the cutting power more, I will be adding the anticoagulant of the Vampire Bat to cause non-stop bleeding for whatever that gets in its way. Of course, the disease resistance of bats will also be important to survive the Indominus virus, which, said disease immunity, is thought to come from the bat's anti-inflammatory abilities. This disease resistance will also help my hybrid be carrying that other scavengers can't as well. The famous iron infusion will be used to infuse the claws, teeth, toes, and Proteus head plate with iron. And lastly, the Vampire Bat is also adding more intelligence to compensate for the fact that the baboon intelligence isn't as high as other primates. You might notice that the Vampire Bat might be the smartest bat in the world, and being said, the Vampire Bat has been shown sophisticated behaviors, complex social powers, and problem-solving abilities, and also adaptability, boosting the hybrid's intelligence to the chimpanzee level. Also importantly, Vampire Bats are friendly with each other, which should offset any violence in the pack. Now, my hybrid's ecological role is a pet hunter. For that, we need an expert level coordination, which is where our 9th contributor arrives, the famous Jurassic Park tree raptor. Coming time for Jurassic World Rebirth. The JB Tree Raptor were able to set traps, use highly effective pack hunting, play communication to hunt their prey. It should be noted that the JB Tree Raptor did not fight each other, unlike the Lost World Raptors, which, within their film, they did not do any dumb things, like trying to fight a predator far larger than them, like the Jurassic Park 1 Raptors, which is why I think the JB Tree Raptors are the smartest raptors. Therefore, I'll add the communication and coordination of these raptors to my hybrid. Another thing is, I'll be adding their claws, which is curved, sharp, and perfect for ripping and tearing. Those claws will be further enhanced by iron infusion and increased size from the Mylodon and Proteus DNA. To make sure no balancing issues happen, I'm not using the sickle claw in front of the raptor, as that will cause great balance issues. Our 10th contributor is surely the most boring one yet, but it is also the most interesting contributor too. Meet the real-life Velociraptor. To explain why I picked the real Velociraptor when I already have the JB Tree Raptor, you must understand something about the Jurassic Park/World dinosaurs. All dinosaurs in that universe has frog DNA in them to fill in the genetic gaps in their dinosaurs. So, we'll replace the frog DNA in the JB Tree Raptors with real-life Velociraptor DNA to improve purity. If you're concerned about removing frog DNA, we'll remove some traits from the JB3 raptors, then don't, as I don't see how frog DNA adds extra size, intelligence, coordination, and scales to the JB3 raptors. So removing the frog DNA shouldn't take away or improve any traits. The 11th and final animal in the genome is the web-tailed lizard. It doesn't add much other than asexual reproduction. Now, why not any other animal for this job? Well, that's because there are types of asexual reproduction, and I want the one specific to the web-tailed lizard. This also means my hybrid is all female too. Last fact is, I picked this to keep up in numbers, so no other hybrid can just outnumber my hybrid. Now, with the entire genome explained, you might notice the hybrid has quills, but no animals in the genome has quills. Well, I made these quills by combining mammalian hair and velociraptor feathers. So, let's get an understanding of mammalian hairs first. Mammalian hair is separated between two parts: the hair shaft, which is the part outside the skin, and the hair root, which is the part that anchors the hair shaft to the skin. The hair shaft will be thicker and sharper by adding velociraptor DNA to it. The hair shaft will also be made with the stiffer and harder beta keratin of the feather instead of the alpha keratin of the hair. The hair shaft will also be reinforced with iron to make it fully stiff and sharp, like many types of quills. The hair root will have none of these reinforcements, making a structural difference between the hair shaft and the hair root, which should help make the quills much more detachable, which such quill will get stuck in any hybrid who happens to attack my hybrid. The quills will also have barbs, which are like the barbs of a feather but smaller, so the quills can stay inside the attacker's skin. So, a small recap on my hybrid, and actually, don't worry, I have to explain something first. If you hear death and destruction outside, don't worry, that's just the US defense budget working its magic. Now let's get back to it. Let's see here. It has the baboon's canines, the vampire bat's incisors, and all the other teeth are the T-Rex teeth. And all the teeth are iron-infused too. The arms are combined with flexibility and fast twitch muscles of the baboon arms, and the sheer strength of the Mylodon arms, enhanced further by the Proeutatus. The claws are that of the Jurassic Park tree raptor, with increased size coming from Mylodon and Proeutatus, and iron infusion from vampire bat, of course. The armor is that of the Cuvier's dwarf caiman, enhanced by Proeutatus and Mylodon osteoderms under the skin. The intelligence of a Chekma baboon mixed with vampire bat with the coordination and communication of a JB3 raptor. And I feel like some more information is overdue by now. My hybrid is 4 meters tall at the hips and 14 meters long. It is also 12.3 metric tons. It is a generalist omnivore and a scavenger, which is why bone-eating, Mylodon scavenging, and Proeutatus eating carrion, plus a vampire bat immune system, mattered. My hybrid is meant to live as a scavenger and a pack hunter on a hybrid-infested Isla Nublar, which means the Indom 2.0 isn't the only hybrid to look out for me. The X factor is also important too, but a bit basic, so let's get on with it. Due to the hybrids being a scavenger, it sometimes get rotten flesh stuck in its mouth, which, when my hybrid bites, sometimes infection is going to be a big problem for whatever hybrid that doesn't have good disease immunity. Now, after all the information about my hybrid, it is time to show you the name and final design. Meet Lex, or the scientific name, Dragonvenatus Scepter, meaning the dragon hunting undertaker. It was both a blast to make Lex and also took half of my life that I'm not getting back. Wait, no, not half of my life, half a year. Oh gosh. So, I mean, that's the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And why not leave a comment, and also send me somewhere else to work, because I do not want to film the Warzone again. And